Trevor Adams is a meteorologist who has worked for CBC in the Maritimes. You may recognize him. He lives in St. Petersburg in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. But Trevor, where are you now?
I'm currently in Fort Lauderdale. I decided to evacuate with the impending hurricane. I wasn't going to take the risk to stick around, so I thought I'd get to somewhere safe.
Yeah, tell me about that decision to leave. How worried are you about your home?
Very worried. I fortunately don't have the obligation to work as a broadcast meteorologist. I teach now as my primary job. And so I had the luxury of, getting a day to sort of get my place ready and then get on the road and get out of town. That's how seriously I'm taking this.
How badly damaged was your place or your community by Helene back in September?
Well, I was, describing the scene to some people, in the Maritimes in the wintertime, when you go into the shopping mall parking lots when it snows and they build up those giant snow mounds that you could almost basically ski down. Just imagine that garbage, though, garbage piles that size everywhere throughout the community. It's just devastating.
So how concerning is that, given that some of that stuff, I guess, could become projectiles? I'm not sure how much of it they got picked up. Um, because where you're getting the one storm and then another one coming right after it, that complicates things.
It does, and there has been no pickup really at this point because they're still, the officials are still assessing what's going on. They're still trying to restore power, and the big concern is the storm surge, which the waters will simply carry that garbage and then float it and redistribute it. So all the cleanup efforts that people have been doing just to get them into the piles to clean up their communities, their efforts could all be just in vain because if we get a strong storm surge, it'll just float that everywhere.
I know Florida has its fair share of hurricanes in the past. Everyone knows that, but this is somewhat unusual, isn't it? That there's these two, they're so big, one right after the other. Can you kind of put that in context for us a little bit?
Well, I think it's a sign of the times. We know that ocean surface temperatures have been, excessively hot, hotter than they have ever been, historically. So that gives us an indication. That's the fuel, the source of these hurricanes, the strength of them comes from that warm water. And so I think that's a sign of the times, what we're seeing. And the other thing we have to remember is that hurricane season, although we typically define it going until the end of November, Mother Nature doesn't necessarily have a schedule of when these things are going to happen. And so typically September, October are the busiest months. So it's not surprising that we're seeing these storms right now. What is surprising, though, is the size and strength of the storms.
You've got your camper trailer behind you there, which you have taken to the other side of the state for safety reasons. Mass evacuations underway. How complicated it is to get around there now?
Well, there's two factors you have to take into account. One is it's nearly impossible to get gas in the Tampa Bay area. They've run out. People stock up, and obviously they've gotten on the road. Then you have to contend with traffic. So I worked around the clock last night, quite late, to prepare my house, and then I got up very early this morning to get on the road. So I apologize for people are probably not used to see me like this, but I'm tired. It's been a long day, and I'm just glad that I finally got here and I was able to set up at some friends
Yes.
that will let me stay.
Well, yeah, and you're in a safe zone now, it would seem. Uh, how would you characterize people's mood as this huge storm bears down on Florida now? Are they getting used to this? Do you ever get used to this?
I don't think people get used to it, but there is a sense at some point, what can you do? And the reality sets in. What's important is your personal safety first. You secure as much as you can of your property, and then it's personal safety. But you also have a lot of people who have a lot of attachment to their properties, and they won't leave despite that.
Just quickly before I let you go, has anyone started the insurance process yet from the first storm? I mean, how does that play out for people?
Yes, so all of the insurance companies, the major insurers, have set up sites where people can go and get help, throughout the Tampa Bay area, and that's what they do. And of course, the local, state, and federal officials have also set up sites and programs to help people have access to things like washrooms, laundry facilities, places to stay, shelters have been set up, and so on. So all of that's well put in place for people. But the thing is that they will not couple the claims together. If you have a claim from Helene, then you'll have to file a separate. You have to file a separate claim, that is, with anything that happens from. My goodness, drawing a blank here for a second. It's such a busy day. For Milton.
Well, we can understand why you might be a little preoccupied. Listen, really appreciate that you're safe, Trevor, and do thank you for your time today. Thanks so much.
Okay, no problem. You got it.